Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Rob's Attic.
Hold on, Walker. This table's a little too crowded for me, dude. I feel like there's too many people here. You know.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There's 5.
Hold up.
Well, if you would let me get. If you would let me get through the intro.
Sorry, I had to interject to you like that, dude.
It's
too crowded for me.
If you let me get through the intro. I'm your host, Walker, and today we have the very special guest, the man that this show is named after, and the store owner of Dragon's Lair Comics in Houston, Robert Kroll. Say hi, Rob.
How you doing, everybody?
So, and
how much of the show was you spent screwing with your hair?
Like
90% of it.
It doesn't stop. We just work around that.
Yeah. And as per usual, today I have Matt, who survived his Warhammer game on a pogo stick against the old gods. So, round 2.
How did you beat Odin? Tell me that.
We don't talk about that.
We're not going to talk about it.
Poked him in his other eye.
You got to be here to know.
You got to be here to know. We also have our D&D guy, Charlie.
Charlie's not the D&D guy. Charlie is the RPG section lead.
All right.
And then...
Cut it to
My world expanded.
We cut it and he's gone.
And then we also have the editor Ian here right next to me. And
Why do you always introduce me as the editor and not like CCG guy? Like my other titles don't matter. It's just,
Ian is my CCG section lead.
The best.
So he's in charge of everything that is CCG related, including accessories.
Yeah. Also, AKA the best worker here at Dragon's Lair. But we don't.
How those reorders doing this week?
You just put them out, so
No, those are pre-orders.
no, you just put them out, and I've already got them done.
You're looking light on Dragon Shield.
Yeah, I know that. I'm looking light on
that?
Dragon's Lair. I've been asleep all day. I woke up to the pre-orders are here, and I hit my computer right then. And I looked at everything, and I was like, all right, I know my numbers. I'm go in there, look at everything, and know what I gotta get.
You know, I'm calling Cap about the best Dragon's Lair employee.
I'd like a formal complaint on that too. Best Dragon's Lair employee would be me.
We could battle royale this thing out.
Oh.
Move all the tables in the.
That's your answer for everything. Another
We
battle royale.
move all the tables out in the game room.
Matt, you'll win if you Fortnite default dance on him, alright?
Oh, okay. Can do.
I
don't know if I can do that.
happy to be in it.
There's so many inside jokes floating around.
It's not. You just got no pop culture.
It's mostly just nonsense.
So, today Rob will be leading us on
Rob will
the
just
comic
say, "I have
book
the high
conversation. And
You got
so-
that? I have the high ground. He's like on top of the game room, and he's on top of the private rooms with his lightsaber. And he's got a cloak and everything. He's put the Darth Vader hat on.
Who?
You.
For what?
For the battle royale we're gonna have, the D-Lair employee battle royale. Look forward to it.
Apparently, during the times I have not been here, this has gone completely sideways.
Oh, no, it just always goes sideways.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Rob. You're not gonna be able to control this.
Go round and round in circle.
So,
Somehow go forward.
So, Rob, what type of comic books do you have right there in front of you for the good people to see?
Well, on the shelf today, we have 4 new number 1s. First one is from James Tinian, who also wrote Something is Killing the Children. It's called Blue Book, and it is an adaptation of actual alien abduction stories. And so the first one's pretty straightforward. It's about a couple during the Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s driving through the country. They've been on vacation. They can't really afford to stay someplace overnight because they overspent their budget on their vacation. So they're driving all night to get home, and they encounter a alien spacecraft. And so really minimalist use of color in this. It's just black, white, and blue. And it tells their story. There's also a second alien abduction story in the back, which is really freaking weird. But I liked it. I'll be back for issue number 2. So this is Blue Book. It is a new Dark Horse imprint. Next I read, now you got to bear with me because as we lean more and more as a company on our section leads to take more and more of the burden that I usually do, I'm trying to read a lot more comics and trying to get back into the swing of reading after being stuck in the office for probably going on 4 years now, right? So next up was Moriarty, This is a, I mean, if you're going to boil this down, this is a combination kind of Sherlock Holmes story meets Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story, but it's all set in an alternative steampunk universe. So there's a lot of, if my daughter's watching this, hello, my beautiful daughter. My daughter likes to call like in an RPG or in a game or really in anything where there's a lot of conversation going on. She calls it stop and talk. So cutscenes in World of Warcraft would be a lot of stop and talk, etc. There's a lot of stop and talk in this book. There's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of Holmes explaining how he knows that this guy just came back from vacation in this place and blah, blah, blah. But right into the first few pages of the book, you meet Dr. Jekyll, who is in an opium den. You encounter a automaton kind of steampunk robot that's been built to cheat at cards. And it's very interesting. I'm going to be back for book number 2 on this, because even though it is a lot of text and there's a lot of reading in this, the art style I really enjoyed. It has kind of a Gideon Falls feel to it, kind of not a minimalistic style like Blue Book was, but it's not, the edges and things aren't extremely well defined. I really liked it. I thought it was cool. So I'll be back for number 2 on that one. And I know I'm going to skip here and say, well, you guys who read Blue Book? You read Blue Book?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I pretty much summed it up correctly, right? It's a alien abduction story.
I think it pushes Tinian from a great author to, this is masterwork. I absolutely love this book. It gave me genuine chills. I don't know, alien abduction's a personal topic that I just really love.
Personal.
No, I had a long discussion with a customer about this last night, though. I at one time thought maybe I had been, but it's just chemicals in the brain, man. It's just like this our age sleep paralysis.
Matt,
Maybe that's what the aliens wanted you to believe.
Matt.
It might be.
You doing drugs in the back of a Burger King is not you being abducted
I was
by
going to
aliens.
ask if you had a history.
No, I don't. I don't either.
I don't know,
before
though. I
or
mean,
after the abduction.
Would it be kind of arrogant to say that we're the only intelligent life in the universe?
No.
Yeah,
I think it is
extremely
arrogant.
It's very arrogant.
I think it's very, so who knows?
There's
Aliens,
no way.
Probably.
There's no way.
Next title I read, Liquid Kill. Now, so my wife and I have kind of an evening routine. We watch a lot of trash TV. So Below Deck, about yacht people and the overprivileged people that rent luxury yachts. We watch Life After Lockup and Love After Lockup.
I
And
love that show.
all this really hot garbage, especially on the Bravo channel, except for any of the what is it, the Housewives ones. I won't watch those. Cause
Not at all.
I want to kill people after watching this.
Yeah.
But so we were kind of just I was laying on the couch, and Chris hates our overhead light because it's like standing on the surface of the sun.
Yes.
So all we had were the lamps on, and I was trying to read this book. This book makes the use of gray into a religion. Everything in the book is kind of shades of gray. Not a lot of color and not a lot of differentiation when you're trying to read it by a lamplight. So I had no effing clue what this was about the first time I read through it. And then today, while I was on a video chat with Rose, who owns our sister store at San Antonio Alma Ranch. Hello, Rose. We kind of reread it together with my office lights on, and I finally got it. Now, I dug this book. This book is, you're going to have to read it twice, because once going through it, you're going to have to go back and pick up some fine details. It is about a woman who, it's very bloody, it's very violent, but it kind of jumps back and forth between present day and 20 years prior, when 20 years prior, this woman was freed by this other very violent guy. Freed from her captivity, and she's trying to find who did this to her savior, basically, who wound up raising her because she was freed when she was only a little girl. And again, it's kind of a trend, I guess, between Blue Door and this. Very minimalist use of color, very minimalist use of heavy line work. It's kind of sketchy looking, but the story, once you grasp it and once you've gone back through and understood it, is very, very interesting. I thought it was cool. that was really cool. I'll definitely be back for number 2 on this one. Liquid Kill. This is a Whatnot Publishing book, so very small press. But yeah.
You see in the cover, like the cover artwork, very bright, very colorful.
Yeah, you wouldn't guess it.
You
You're
would
right.
not guess that.
Yes.
It's very muted.
Yes, it's like wearing padded jeans. It's just to come on.
It reminded me of like a gangster ass barista. Cause it's like the cover of it is like it's all colorful and stuff. Then you open it up, all black and white.
And you open up the book and it's hot, wet garbage. Yeah.
Oh, Gangster Ass Barista was actually pretty decent. I enjoyed it.
Did anybody read the new issue of Plush yet?
There's a new issue of Plush out.
Oh, God, here we go.
I've got to read it. Have you read it?
I did not. I
Oh,
didn't
I've
get a
got
chance
to read it. Me and Matt are hooked on
Yeah,
Plush.
it got me.
We're
It got me.
hooked.
That number 2 of the new Dragon Age story came out last night, and
I didn't see that.
that did. Oh yeah.
For some reason, Brad doesn't even want to talk about Plush. I'm just like, dude, it's decent.
I haven't read it.
It's a decent
It's
one.
actually
strong
Once
book.
you
It's
get
really
past
good.
the whole,
It's weird.
furry cannibals,
Yeah,
like,
murder.
and then the third issue actually allows you to get past it because like it actually tells you that there's a story, there's a reason why they're doing this. They're not just doing this because they like eating people. They actually have like they form a connection to the people that they eat. So they save like a costume head for each person that they eat, and they only eat specific people. So like one of them only eats vegetarians because he's a vegetarian. So they take it as a way of like making these people a part of them in
sounds
their
kinda
journey.
good.
Yeah.
It's actually like they actually have
You
reason.
got to eat a vegetarian now because of that.
Well, I would eat vegans.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, one of the
Oh,
key
you're
points of this
vegan?
book too is there
Are
something.
you vegan?
No, I just want to eat them.
He's like, I like this. This one's grass fed. I like it.
So-
Calico.
There's something interesting in this book, hopefully without giving too much away, is the guy they're looking for is, his name is Scylla. There's something in Scylla's blood that prevents him from being killed. So when he rescues the young girl, he's stabbed multiple times, like through the heart. And after this happens, he's making fun of the people trying to stop him from killing this guy Kai. He winds up naming the young woman Kai after the man he killed. So interesting. Godfell. This is a vault book, and when I looked at this, I kind of had to put aside some preconceived notions of this. For some reason, this really, the art style, the coloring, the line work really reminded me of both Saga and East of West. Right, Nick Dragana's East of West, which is one of my favorite books. And it admittedly gets up to a slow start. It's painting a picture. They're talking about a war that's been going on between two factions on a planet. One's called the Rule. I can't remember what the other one's called. When God, or a god, falls to Earth. Literally, and that's correct use of that word. Literally falls to Earth.
Figuratively?
Not figuratively. So, not like a teeny bopper saying, I literally just got up. No, that's not.
You know, Rob is the king of grammar.
He's the grammar police.
Yeah.
So, majority of the book is about this unpronounceable woman. I can't pronounce her name. They've just almost finished a war. In fact, part of the story is about how they think they've won the war against the other faction. And a general arrives to tell them, there's really kind of one more battle to fight. But her name is Zanzi, but her last name I can't pronounce. So Zanzi kind of says, screw this. She's one of their top warriors. She's a total badass, but she's kind of had enough of this, and she's going to go home. So on her way home, she picks up a straggler, a young woman in the woods, whose name I also can't remember. You write these down.
Yeah.
And she lets her travel with her, and they finally reach the god who has fallen to Earth, and there's some debate between the two of them about whether it is a god, the god, or just some celestial being. But it would take 28 days to ride around the god, so they're going to go through it. Now, the two factions and other tribes and raiders and things are fighting over the god. It reminded me a little bit about Guardians of the Galaxy, where they're mining the Titan. But apparently there's a path through it. So Instead of trying to talk their way in, Zanzi kills all the guards, and they go in through the foot here, and that's where the story ends. So, it was admittedly a kind of a slow start to this book. It's a little wordy in the backstory, but it picked up once Zanzi left the army and began traveling across the world. So I'll be back for number 2 on these. All 4 of these we have on the shelf, guys. All 4 of these you can subscribe to. We have a subscription service here at Dragon's Lair. We will pull your books every month, and you can even monitor and maintain your subscriptions online. You can pref your covers. You can make special orders. You can do all kinds of really cool stuff with our Managed Comics 2 app through our website, and or you can just call the store and we can sign you up for any one of these. So those are the 4 books. Those are the 4 number ones for this week. A lot of new books. So there's a new issue of Plush. There's a new issue of Dragon Age. There's some ongoing issues. I'm going to try to focus week over week on our number 1 issues, and maybe some interesting other books that I'm reading as well.
Godfield does sound pretty interesting.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking at the. I got questions.
You got questions?
Yeah, like, okay, well, how long has it been since the god fell?
Right.
You can see all communities
They-
starting to spring up
They
all
talk.
around
They
it.
talk in annums, and so they don't say year. They say annum, and it's apparently been a couple of annum since that fell. Because as Zanzi is moving back across the world, she's going through areas that they razed and destroyed during the war that are now regrown, repopulated. So it's been a while. She's been away for a hot minute.
I think I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna make this my pick of the week. Anybody make this the pick of the week yet?
No, I think I made.
You made Blue Book yours.
Yeah, okay.
Rob, have you had any alien encounters?
If I had the alien encounters, just y'all every day.
I am from another world.
Yeah, I've since
can't
got
talk
my
about
green
it.
card, so I'm good.
Well, Rob, it's like what we tell you. You don't run a game shop. You run an insane asylum.
Could be true.
Ian, what do you have going on for manga? Because I see a stack right there.
Yeah, you gotta
First
get
of all,
a little-
you were a little off. You said we got 10. Count 10. What?
Don't give me this look. He wanted to be on here.
What?
How off on what? Off on what?
Because we got 10. Chainsaw Man number 1 last week. And you said we need to get it again. It's all gone. It went from this
I
to
didn't
this.
say it was
There's
all
still 6
gone.
of them out there.
I didn't
So,
say it was
I
all
don't know.
gone. I said there's like 5 or 6 number 1s left, and I was correct.
You didn't actually give a number.
I did give a number. It
So
was
you
probably.
said it went
I was
from
probably.
this to this.
I was. No, Brad said it went from this to this. I gave a number. I was
That
probably
sounds like something
talked
Brad would say.
over.
Brad's
because it
leaving
happens
us,
a lot.
though. And can you really believe anything that Brad said?
Honestly,
Rest in paradise.
between Brad and Matt, there's a lot of lies and gaslighting that goes on between our
with
sections.
Brad leaving, the gaslighting will go down by half.
Yes, but the straight up lying won't, because that will just increase by Matt.
I don't know how you even got dragged into this.
We know how many times you
Chainsaw Man
gaslight us,
discussion.
Rob. You're pretty good at gaslighting too. I don't remember ever saying that. No, Matt, Rob, you definitely
No,
said
I
that.
don't.
I don't think
I'm getting old.
I don't think you said
I'm getting older, and I spend a lot of time doing a lot of number crunching and data analysis and trends and blah blah blah. So when you come in and say, "Hey man, half of the 2/3 of the 9/10
impression.
9/10 of Chainsaw Man is gone."
He's got you. He got you there. He got you.
And I go out and look and see we still have 6 number 1s. I think, oh yeah, well, that was a vast exaggeration.
Your Kelly's
It is.
impression
It is quite popular though.
Kelly's impression of who?
of you.
Really?
Pretty spot on.
Sweet.
We put it on the spot on the internet.
We're
Now we
gonna
got-
get a wire in that office
Hey, man.
every time. You're like, I don't remember saying that. Well, actually, here at
Yeah.
February
Oh, yeah.
23rd at 4:25.
No, but there's
PM.
such an overload of information and things I'm trying to deal with every day that if you stick your head in and throw something at me, then chances are I'm not going to remember.
Dementia's kicking in.
No, it's a combination of The Sopranos in the background, Monitor 2, and
World of Warcraft. I'm
Reorder. I did that one time. in the
one
morning.
time.
Reorders over here. Reorders over here because y'all haven't done it.
Here goes that gaslighting. one time. I don't know about that one. Right?
Okay, and what we got for manga?
What do we got?
So we've got some good little picks. We've got The Elusive Samurai by Yusei Matsui, and if you guys haven't heard of him, I actually kind of masterfully picked this one out. He's also the guy who wrote.
Wait, why are you holding that in front of the microphone?
It's in the.
So everybody
There we
can
go.
hear how the book looks.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so they can't hear how the book
Listen to
looks.
this one, everybody.
You know, I accidentally but masterfully picked out another book that he wrote that a lot of people might know, Assassination Classroom. He's also the same guy who makes this.
You know, when you describe yourself as masterful, it really has no weight.
Well,
If
I
someone
did-
else described you as masterful, then yeah.
Okay, so
We
Elusive
ought- for the next time, we really ought to put an easel up there. It's kind of off to the right or left, and so that when we're talking about something, we can put it up there.
Very true. Good idea, Rob.
Yeah.
See? Comes on here, he bullies you specifically, and then he's giving good ideas. I like him. He needs to stay.
I
on.
can't wait till we get to the Warhammer section. He's gonna have a field day with you. Elusive Samurai is about a young girl who is the heir to the Kamakuri
You might
clan.
put that down. I don't want you to strain yourself.
He's young and hip. He's got the arm
Hips
strength.
is up for you.
It's
Well, you know
about
it's hip to be square, Rob.
it's about a young heir to the Kamakuri
Who
clan.
did that song?
Huey Lewis in the news.
See, Mr. Valentine.
I knew that one. That's my jam.
The heir to the Kamakuri clan, which if you haven't heard about the Kamakuri clan, there is a very famous clan back in, what was it, Edo period of
I
Japan.
think so.
They did a lot of stuff. They actually smith a couple of cursed swords, so to speak. Her whole clan is basically slain, and she manages to get away, hence the elusive swordsman, with some of her retainers, which are people who are loyal to her in her bloodline, and since she's the heir, they are now loyal to her and only her. They're basically there to protect her. So they're trying to get her to safety and until she's able to mature and continue on the bloodline. I think we've only got number 1. I think it's a brand new series. So with manga, it does take a while for issue or volumes to come out. It's very interesting. I like whenever they do like the kids who aren't like super powered gods and are just like cutting down armies. It's got more realism. Like she's over here biting people, running away and letting the retainers do all the fighting because she's only
Wait a
a
minute,
kid.
did you just describe manga as realistic?
Yeah, some manga do that actually. It's crazy. It's very hidden gems that actually have some realism in them. Because like you get stuff like this, and you get like Kuriko's basket, where it's like it's supposed to be basketball, but he's over here making clones of himself, passing himself the ball, and doing alley oops with himself. It's like they try to do realism, but it doesn't go well. What you doing there, buddy?
Need to plug in.
That's the wrong one.
Where is the right one?
It's
Plug in the what?
the charger.
Yeah, it goes around the back. That's it.
This is it.
Yeah, the yellow.
Where's the plug-in at?
Should be somewhere back. Or
That's
the
what she said.
wall plug.
That plug goes in the wall. The other side
Yeah,
goes
I-
in the left.
Ignore me.
I do give everybody here a lot of grief, but with Ian, he does really know his manga. And since Brad is leaving us, I'm going to be taking
Outside.
over the. Since Brad is, all right, it's time for us to come clean. Actually, Brad has passed away.
Oh.
Rest in paradise.
Yes.
Brad is passed.
So Brad's passed away,
He got
and
abducted by the
I
Brad-
killed him like the last co-host I had. I'm just saying that now.
with
You
Brad,
killed Brad's clone.
with Brad passing away, I'm taking over the ordering and purchasing for all of our print stuff. But Ian is an excellent asset for the manga section. So manga's a little bit difficult to order right now. A lot of times things are out of stock. For example, we had to go around our elbows to get to our butts to get Chainsaw Man #1. But you can't read everything, and ordering manga is a lot different than ordering comics or graphic novels. So if there's something you like, if there's something that you are really interested in that maybe we don't carry, be sure to talk to Ian or talk to me or email the store, give us a call, and let us know what those titles are. Because right now, even if you look at BookScan or ICV2 of the top-selling mangas, it's dominated by Chainsaw Man, so not much else really gets in there, and that's one of the many resources we use to figure out what are we going to order. Right? So if you don't see it, ask us about it.
Yep. So brings me into our next title. You want to hold that up there? Assassination Classroom. It's one of the more well-known mangas out of the picks I have. We do have number one for this volume out. If people don't know about it, basically what it is he is an alien from another planet that comes to Earth and basically is just like, hey, I am going to destroy all of humanity. Now, how he at first nobody believes him. He's like, ooh, okay, whatever. We're America. We have big guns. Pew pew. But he proves them wrong by blowing up the moon. So the moon is now like in chunks throughout most of the series, and so he says, "What I will do for you guys is I will give you a fighting chance. I will teach a classroom of degenerate children on how to kill me. If they manage to kill me by the end of the year, by the end of graduation, then you guys are good. If they don't, I will proceed to then massacre the entire world, to destroy the world." So the government employs this group of dropouts, delinquents, just bad people, and tells them, hey, you guys basically have to kill this guy. We can't do it. Like, these are trained FBI, CIA agents. Some of the top squads in the government can't kill this man, but they're putting all their hopes in a bunch of delinquent dropouts to kill this man. It's a really fun story. I enjoy it. It's got a lot of fun little interactions, and they grow on him. Like, he's a pretty cool dude, and I hate that they have to kill him because like I like his character. He's all fun and smug about it. Like, he's like, oh, you're gonna have to try harder than that if you're gonna want to kill me. They find out there's like this weird rubber material that he's vulnerable to because he told them. He told him his one weakness, in hopes that they can kill him.
Again, that's might be doing one.
That's manga in general. It might be, might not be.
The mangas I've read when I was born.
What are your favorite mangas?
Yeah, what's
your top three favorite mangas? I'm actually right now generating lists because I haven't read very much manga at all. So I'm making a little list here of go back and some things I'd like
I haven't read that much. I've read Death Note. I like Death Note.
Death Note is a good
I
one.
read, it's on the tip of my tongue. Full Metal Alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
There was
I liked.
there was a
Boy,
follow up
I
to that.
rammed all that
someone
together.
So-
Full Metal Alchemist.
So they have Full Metal Alchemist and they have Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
I read Brotherhood.
Yes, so Brotherhood is the better of the
Okay,
two.
I'm lying. I watched it.
Yeah, no. So no,
That's
I think
insane.
so. It is just Full Metal Alchemist, but the anime it has a Full Metal
The anime
Alchemist
is-
and a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Brotherhood was recommended to me as the better of the two, so I watched that.
That's because without Full Metal Alchemist, what they did was that they did the thing that anime shouldn't do, and is they put out episodes and they go past where the manga is, and when you do that, you don't know how the anime or how the manga is supposed to end. So
Okay.
they come up with their own ending. The ending wasn't good, so they came up with Brotherhood after the manga was finished, and that has the actual ending and how the manga is supposed to end. So that's why everybody says to read or watch Brotherhood over Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
A lot of anime does that a lot of the time, and it's just not good.
Well, I enjoyed Brotherhood. I thought it was good.
The
I
author-
tried watching Durarara and couldn't do it. And I watched most of the, Spirited Away. all
The
those.
Studio Ghibli stuff.
Yeah.
Those are all good.
That's the studio that makes Spirited Away.
Isn't it Ghibli?
Ghibli.
Ghibli. I say
Studio
Ghibli.
Ghibli.
I don't know.
Ghibli is like chibi.
They got a deal with Disney, I think. They're going. Well,
Yeah, I
they've
took
hinted
my
at it.
daughter to see Ponyo and the
I love
Teenage
Ponyo.
Dirty.
Ponyo's great.
Ponyo was my
Yeah.
favorite out of
No, I came home.
Princess Mononoke guy.
I remember living in Austin when I was going back to school, and I came home and I think it was on HBO.
Yeah.
And I saw Princess Mononoke.
Mm.
I was like, what the hell is this?
Mhm.
Because I grew up on Space Cruiser Yamato,
Yeah, they.
aka Star
man.
Blazers.
Yeah.
And
Right after
Bozo,
Bozo,
Battle,
every day.
Battle of the Planets,
Yeah.
the Seven, Zark 7, and all
Uh-huh.
that stuff. So I saw this
Yeah.
and I thought, my daughter's going to love this.
Mm-hmm.
I brought, and so when she came home, I rewound it and played it for her. And she loved it and then got into all the rest of those films. And I've seen all those.
Neil
Yeah.
Gaiman wrote that
Another
for them.
good one was like, I think it's Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Howl's Moving Castle. Spirited Away, Ponyo.
My neighbor Totoro.
Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
Speaking of which, we have a poster restock on the way from a new poster supplier. So a bunch of new stuff we haven't had before.
I love me some posters.
We're down to we had like 300 and now we're down to 4.
Another one that I'm actually really I've read a couple of pages of this, and it's a really fun one. Grand Blue Dreaming. This is one.
Hey, wait, isn't Grand Blue the dive shop?
Yeah, a dive shop. So he's a kid, graduated from, I believe he graduated from high school. He comes out to this beachside place to join this diving club. He's like, this is going to be where I reinvent myself. I'm going to explore girls, finally. I'm going to do all the stuff that I've wanted to do. And then he walks into a sausage fest. That's what I guess the best way I can.
So I briefly looked through that, and I showed a couple pages to these two gentlemen. There's a lot of blacked out wieners.
Yeah.
And I don't mean wieners that are
Not hot dogs, but
black. I mean like a round dot over wieners in that book.
And so they do it the way you're supposed to do it, because some other manga, they just put a stupid little black line going this way over the wiener, and it's just like, I can still see all of the wiener. Like, it's just.
Well, I've already found boobs in this one. There's.
Yes, I don't know why that I told
why?
Matt that should have been saran wrapped. I don't know why it wasn't, because there's a lot of boobs in there. She doesn't like wearing clothes. But he, in that book, he's trying his hardest to like get with girls, but like his roommates are just not making it easy. Like, there's a couple of scenes where he's like inviting this girl over. He walks into his room, and there's just a bunch of bikini babes all over, just plastered all over his wall.
And porn.
Yes. And then he's just like, the faces he makes, he's just like, get this out of here now, or I will hunt you down to your last. And it's a hilarious anime and manga.
That's a good shot right there. The girl with the beer and the cowboy hat.
It even has a recommendation, I think, from Crunchyroll. It's just like, you need to read this effing manga.
Really?
It's from Crunchyroll on the back.
So,
I think it's
that's
in
a lot of
Crunchyroll.
boob.
Oh, Anime Planet says that. You need to read this effing manga.
I see nothing like that on the back of it.
Yes, it's that one. It's Grand Blue.
Oh,
Look at that.
No, I say that. I don't see any recommendations. On the back of this one.
I mean, a room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
usually
says. See, this actually says parental advisory, explicit content,
it says on the on the front.
and it says crazy food truck. Yet it seems they're on a crab boat fish boat in the Bering Sea.
The food truck's in the back.
That's where they take their cash.
So that one's another good one. I've read that one.
God, you've got to tell me about crazy food truck.
It's actually really good. So it's set in after I think it's like World
Captain Phil in
War
here?
IV or something like that. No,
Captain Phil Harris.
no.
Can we have a moment for Captain Phil Harris? May he rest in peace.
What would have silence?
Captain Phil. Anybody watch Deadliest Catch?
Yeah.
Yes.
Captain Phil.
Oh yeah, his ship
Captain
thing,
Phil Harris.
right?
Your ship didn't sink.
But there was a recent ship that actually said, "Screw it, I'm done," and like 3 of the crew died.
I haven't watched, I think, the most recent season, but no, Captain Phil was a badass who had the son.
he had the two
Jake
sons
and
who
Josh.
were with him.
Yeah. So, moving on to Crazy Food Truck.
Yeah. So Crazy Food Truck. It is set in regular America after a
I
bunch
bet that'll
of
stand up on his own.
yeah.
But, whoa!
A bunch of crazy war basically just screwed over the planet. They even talk about how they're in a desert, but the desert actually used to be part of the ocean, and it's all dried up water. All the water's dried up, and so it's just a desert. So it's about this guy who runs a food truck. Not a very good food truck because he's out in the desert. There's nobody out here looking for sandwiches in the desert. He runs up on this girl
That's a
in the
poor location choice.
It's a poor
Might be
location.
a great
but,
food
like,
truck.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's because he gets all of his. He doesn't buy any of his food, so he gets it all from the land. He knows where to go to get all of his food, and so he doesn't buy anything. It's pretty good. He finds this girl who's sleeping in the middle of the road.
In the desert.
In a desert.
Yep. She's in a sleeping bag, though.
Yeah, she's in a sleeping bag. He brings her into his food truck, and she proceeds to eat everything he has. And it's found out that she's actually being naked. She's naked. Yeah, she doesn't like wearing clothes for some reason.
She lives in the desert.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. And it turns out that she's being hunted by the military.
No boobs in this.
No boobs. But luckily, he's also being hunted by the military, so they both are now on the run from the military.
The food truck guy and the girl are both being hunted by the military.
Because he's ex-military, and he left after killing his whole squad. So they've been hunting him. They've been hunting her. They haven't told us why they're hunting her yet.
It's like the Cosa Nostra. You can't leave.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And
So I'm like 6 or 7 seasons into The Sopranos.
Oh, man.
Rewatching it is just background noise.
And
So I
it's
missed
just-
half of it. But
it's like what's crazy is it's like you think it's just a regular food truck. It's not. This food truck
a
has
space food truck?
no. It's a food truck. It's got nitro in it.
Highly
so like
militarized.
he's like in a chase and he just
Nitro like the coffee?
no.
Oh, you mean
But
nitrous?
nitro like the-
Nitrous.
like
Yeah.
nitrous oxide. Oh.
And so he's got that. It also has a cannon in it. A high power. I don't remember what it says it in
What
here.
caliber cannon?
Let's see. Let me find it. It actually says it in
Speaking
here.
my language.
Look, no,
Let's
you're ex-Navy. You don't know shit about
It's
that.
a Vesemir
I do.
5.6
I'm a fire
caliber
controlman.
85 millimeter
Oh,
gun.
yeah.
Hey.
Rob, you're ex-Navy.
I'm ex-Navy.
He's
We
a
don't
nuke.
talk about caliber or anything
Yeah.
in the Navy.
It was like in the
A
last
gun
World
is
War.
a 5-inch gun or 16-inch gun or maybe a 12-inch gun.
Let's see, this is-
Unless you're a fire controlman or a gunner's mate.
yeah. This is the cannon he pulls out of his truck. It's like for some reason his food truck just comes with a cannon.
88.
Stay strapped or get clapped. That's a good old American way right there.
Yeah, so they're pretty much just on this big violent trip throughout the desert, finding food, making sandwiches, and what she doesn't eat, they try to sell. Don't know to who, but
in the desert.
in the desert. There are people in the desert.
Yeah,
But are they your typical food truck customers?
I mean, some of them might be military trying to kill them, and then, it's
Should
like the
sell
last
water.
sandwich.
If they sell water, I think they need to change their model. up a
Anyone
little
see
bit.
Chef?
No.
The movie Chef? John Favreau? No, he's the chef that goes all apeshit on a food critic, and it goes viral. And he doesn't actually get fired. He leaves. He quits. And his hey, we got pizza. And his ex-wife is Sofia Vergara, and they have a kid together. So he winds up going to Florida to meet.
That's the barbecue chicken pizza that we're going to
Oh,
introduce tomorrow.
What
Wait,
a
Chrissy,
fantastic segue! It is the barbecue chicken
Bring it
pizza
up to the camera.
that who developed this? Kelly. The Kelly, who is often on this show, developed, and we're going to be debuting this tomorrow at Trivia Night. Trivia Night tomorrow night in the tavern is Pixar trivia.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who's our expert?
Kelly,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh God, Lord God help us.
We had a lot of fun.
It is Kelly is our expert tomorrow night, so it is all versus one. You'll be up against Kelly. We have some great prizes to give away, and who's doing the tap takeover?
I don't know if it's all versus
No, that's
one.
not for that. Lone Pint is sponsoring.
Lone Pint is
So we'll have
sponsoring.
specials on their beers.
Do we get to eat this?
Yeah, y'all can have it.
I don't know if it's
Show
all
it.
versus
It's really
one.
good.
Yeah, Chrissy, bring it up to the camera.
Show me. I don't know where to.
It's right there. Last time it wasn't all versus one. Walker had a bunch of help.
Can you see it?
Are you
Yeah.
going to take that, Walker?
I didn't have help. I
Is
knew
it
what I
showing
was
in
doing.
there?
Yes, it is.
I remember
It's showing
seeing
us.
Rob
It's
writing.
better than it looks. It's hard to.
I remember
Get a
seeing
good picture
Rob
of that
writing
pizza.
on your board last time.
What?
Last
Thank
trivia
you.
night. Walker was getting some help.
I was not.
That is an excellent defense. I was not.
What's on this?
Barbecue sauce.
Chicken, bacon, barbecue sauce, red onion.
This is awesome.
Thank you, Dick.
Sweet baby Ray's.
It's really good.
It's a barbecue and chicken. That's what's on here.
And bacon. And red onion.
And no
Gosh.
napkins.
That's good.
Yay. Do you want me to bring you napkins?
Yes.
I love that. That's really yummy.
Yeah, it's pretty
Why are we all drinking beer during this?
Right.
I love you, man. You know what?
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
buy
happy-
us some beers, Rob. Buy us some beers.
Hold up. Y'all happy to be y'all can compete to be the best Dragon's Lair employee. I'm just happy to be a Dragon's Lair employee. They can at work drink beer and eat pizza. So yes,
Charlie.
Charlie.
I love this man.
Blah, blah.
that's amazing.
That's just like, okay.
Charlie's a poison
Ooh,
reason again.
yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh, he just
Here we
loves
go.
to be here.
Charlie Murphy.
Then the last manga I got is Blitz. This is basically just like how I was talking about with Kuroko's Basket. You think it's
So
normal, but
the
it's not.
chest.
Yeah.
I'm not about
I heard about that one.
He has, if I'm correct, it's the ghost of his grandfather. If I'm correct, comes back and gives him his skills in chess. It's basically like Yu-Gi-Oh, where he's got like the soul of a better player helping him out to become one of the best chess players in the world. So they're going to be doing stuff like, oh, he moved his queen at the last second to E14, like stuff like that really makes chess look a whole lot more complicated than it
As
actually
long as
is.
it's not to B17.
See, I don't know much about chess, so I can't.
B17?
No. Which one? What is it?
I need another hand.
Please, Mr. Please, don't play B17. It was our song. It was his song, but it's over. I grew up on country music when I was a kid, so I remember that song.
Is that all the manga, Ian?
Yeah, that's pretty much all for the manga.
Because we
What's
spent
the
a
song?
good chunk of time
Oh yeah.
Okay, who's next?
on that.
We're good.
About 30 minutes on comic books and manga, which is pretty good.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. We got a lot of news,
It's
a
all
lot of
good.
information, a lot of stuff that Ian can actually edit into the video.
Oh, they can chop this up, right?
Yeah.
So you can just chop Charlie completely out. Just have him in the book.
Yep.
Here's my book.
That's it.
Who's
So
next? Brad?
next up is going to be Brad. Yeah, Matt is next up. So
Hi, everyone. It's me, Matt, your board game guy.
board game.
We don't have a whole bunch today, but we have two incredibly huge big pieces of news. The first being a game has appeared on Board Game Geek with an elusive rating of 9.0. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying to yourself, this is just because it has a couple of ratings. It may be a good game, but it's just the numbers are being inflated a little bit. No. Over 800 reviews, still 9.0. This is unheard of. And guess what? We're getting it. Buckle yourselves in. This is the title. Food Chain Magnate, :
Not a new game, though, is it?
It's not. This is an expansion.
Nope.
What is it?
Food Chain Magnate is the base game.
Yeah, it's a base game.
The catch-up mechanism is the expansion.
That's what I said. That's what I'm talking about.
Look at him taking my whole segment.
I'm sorry. I have to. I'm like the continuity director. I have to make sure.
We can edit all this, right?
Just
Just
Yeah.
take that out.
No, Rob handles the lore of the show.
I like that this show has lore. I like that.
I'm a canon guy. That canon? No.
In
Not
the
canon,
beginning,
not canon
Rob
whatsoever.
said there was
No,
like
Food Chain Magnate.
Yes. To get to this, it is an expansion of a game, Food Chain Magnate, which has, again, an incredible score of 8.1 with over 18,000 ratings. This is juicy stuff, guys, and we're getting it. We're getting both Food Chain Magnate and Food Chain Magnate, the catch-up mechanism, and other ideas. Title kind of says what it is. It's you strategically hire and manage your workforce to outcompete rival food chains. It looks like a blast. I cannot wait to get this. This is one that I would almost surely buy right away too, because it looks like a whole lot of fun. Especially the ketchup mechanism and other ideas. It adds baristas, it adds coffee, it adds new kind of foods,
Does it add
kimchi.
ketchup?
It does add ketchup, and that's kind of the whole. The fun of it is that it's if you're running a nice place that serves steaks, for example, would you ask for ketchup?
No, never.
Exactly.
As
But
a kid, yes.
yeah, the customers do. As your place grows, you need to start getting more and more customer base too. So you have to start adding ketchup, and then that's your decision. Do I do that? Do I go in that direction?
I think I would be very upset if my kids ordered ketchup with their steak. I would have to have a talk with them. I would have to have a talk with them when he got home.
They're just kids, though.
A good steak doesn't even need any sauce.
It doesn't need no sauce. It
A1
doesn't need
steak,
any of
doesn't
that.
need anything.
It is
If it's-
just
Yeah,
if
kids
it's a
don't. You
good
can't count
steak-
kids. There's no accounting for taste with kids. They put anything on it. Doesn't matter. But as a grown up, yeah, I don't know.
Who publishes this one? I'm sorry. I knew that. I thought you knew that. I was trying to feed you a line.
No, I'm sorry.
It's
I
by
dropped it. I am off.
Splatter Spellin.
There we go. See, we talked about that yesterday,
They
and I
only-
didn't write it down then either.
They only produce once a year, so only once a year will the stuff come into production. We understand from our supplier GTS on this game that they are 50% sold out of their allotment already. So we only have 4 of this. It is a spendier game. The base game is about $150. Big old box along the lines of some of the Kanban EV or maybe some of
Weather
the chip
machine,
theory
something
games.
like that.
Yeah. So if you're interested, get us your pre-orders early so that we can raise our allotment with GTS and get more if we need it.
This is an opportunity. These are great games. 8.1, 9.0 is unheard of, and they're incredible. Get a
That's
pre-order in now.
That's a bummer with the Board Game Geek stuff, though, because you go through there and look, and people will post. I think it's a 10, and it comes out in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And someone says, "Well, I'm going to post a 1 to counteract your 10," and then it just becomes a back and forth.
you got to really
Yeah,
look at it. You
yeah.
take it with a grain of salt. Overall, I think it's a reliable number.
Yeah,
But
you have-
absolutely.
you have
On the new stuff,
8,000
especially.
reviews or something.
Yeah, new stuff, you got to always look and see what's behind the scenes on them.
You know, it had a good rating on Board Game Geek though.
Which one?
Star Clicker.
Star Clicker. Our boy Brad,
Star Clicker was a good
God
game.
rest his soul, sold almost every copy of Star Clicker that was in this store.
Except for one.
I sold that one. And we'll see where it goes.
And it was apparently a good game. It just nobody could get past
Yeah.
the box art.
Yeah, we played it. We did it on demo on it, and it was fun. We people replayed it after that. It was not without, but that art just carried all the way through, and it felt like playing.
Well, it's like it was like Dance Card. Dance Card was a really interesting game that took place at a school dance, and you could play one of 50 different characters, each of which had their own agenda, and you had mobsters, and you had jocks, and you had vampires, and you had all these people trying to achieve their goals at this school dance. But the cover art looked like a Barbie box. Nobody touched it.
I found it. I found our copy. I brought it back out because I wanted to take a look.
Did you?
I did.
The Dance Card?
I
All right.
did.
So tonight, board game night, you can hit up to play Dance
We're
Card.
gonna play
with you.
Dance Card. Absolutely.
What else you got?
The only other big thing that I want to talk about is just a fun little news blurb I'd like to talk. I'm going to try to start making sure that we've got all our bases covered with all kinds of different games. We started carrying Go boards, which is the ancient Chinese game Go. We had a tournament a while back with them, and it filled the place. It's a fascinating game, absolutely fascinating, and we actually have Go boards and the pieces right now available. So if you want some of that classic type stuff, come on in too, because we're starting to reach out to every kind of gaming that we can handle. Card games, cribbage, just everything. Just
Can't
a little
find
bit
a
of everything.
Crokinole board though.
Oh, I'd love to get Crokinole. Hard to get. That's a Canadian game, eh? Where they flick a stone over, back and forth. Hit it, get it in the hole. That kind of stuff. It's good. You'd
Why
love
are you
it.
looking right at Walker when you say that?
Because he looks Canadian.
He likes to put stuff in holes too.
Excuse the hell out of me.
You look Canadian.
You do look a little Canadian.
I bet you're at least 20 or 30% Canadian.
What about that, eh?
50% Irish, 50% Filipino.
Which is the lower half though.
Like,
It's a rare,
talaga.
Yeah,
it's a rare Canadian Filipino.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we do
Anyway.
also have some news, non-news on Frosthaven. The Frosthaven, apparently, they've shipped 94% of their games, and not ours.
Yeah.
So we have over a pallet of these arriving, and it's it's kind of a bummer because
Speaking of frustrating
we
things,
spent about $4,000 on this one game,
Mm.
and I can't even ask them where it is.
Heard of-
Cephalo Fair says, "Oh, don't email us asking where your stuff is because it'll slow us all down. And I think, as a customer who spent $4,000 on your product, I should have every right to ask you where the heck
And
my
they
product
should know
is
that
that
instantly.
you charged me for almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people were upset on the Kickstarter page saying that all the game stores and stuff are getting their copies before them, and it's just like,
Not true.
yeah.
Nope.
Not true. I know. I mean, one of the Dragon Slayers got theirs already. We went in with rows on our pallet, so we're splitting it like 60-40 our way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
If you
nothing.
pre-ordered it through the Kickstarter or through their website, and you weren't a retailer, you were getting yours first before retailers do, majority of the time.
It's go ahead.
So
Hopefully, we'll have more news next week. Hopefully, we'll get a tracking number.
Yeah, incredibly frustrating, but it's a great game too. Everybody's a lot of people are saying that this is maybe better than Gloomhaven.
Well, you can arguably say that it's the most anticipated board game in modern history.
Yeah, yes, you absolutely could. That's not an overstatement. Gloomhaven probably held that too, and Gloomhaven was for a long time the #1 game, but it has been knocked off the top of the chart. There is a new #1 game. Do you know what it is?
Do you?
I do.
Frostbite.
No, that's what my first guess was. It is a game called Brass Birmingham.
See, Brass Birmingham is not a new game either.
Not.
Brass
Very
Birmingham has
fairly
been
old.
old, and there are some.
It's another weird thing about this rating system.
Another weird thing about that is there are some game publishers who have been accused of manipulating that hotness list on Board Game Geek to drive sales of their new products. In fact, I think people were pointing the finger at Flamecraft. Even though Flamecraft turned out to be a really good game,
That is a good game.
it was #1 for a while, and yeah, so there was some hubbub about
That's
that.
silly.
So
Shouldn't have anything to do with
anything can
that.
get some heat on it and then
Yeah.
rise to the top of that. I think Gloomhaven is still the #1 reviewed game, probably. But in terms of the hotness, there's always new stuff pushing up #1.
Those should be two distinct and separate lists for sure.
Yeah.
Everything's going great. Board Game World is vibrant and alive right now. Don't forget, every Wednesday we do board game night. Come on in at 6 o'clock. We usually have a demo to do. Tonight we have a fun one. One of our customers has a copy of Blood on the Clock Tower that he wanted to play because he's excited to play it. Sounds like a lot of fun. I am incredibly excited to play it. You can play, even 20 people can play this game. And if you die in it, you can still play. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be a great time. So come on in. We have fun stuff like that happening all the time. We got ladies board game night the first and third Thursday. All kinds of fun stuff. I mentioned Go. There's a man here from the Houston Go Association. He does lessons for it. If you want to know, just sit down and he'll teach you how to play it. We've got a lot of fun stuff going on. Play in our game room, play in our tavern. It's a great night. So, Board Games Go. I'm out.
Thank you, Matt,
Nice.
for that.
Nice.
Charlie, what do you have going on for RPGs, and what is that?
That
All right.
beautiful looking
Really
book.
cool looking gold book.
This is the alt cover. It's finally out. Keys from the Golden Vault. All right, there is the standard D&D Dungeons and Dragons cover, but this one is the pretty one. Now, for those that have DM'd for a while and you thought Heist once the book Dragon Heist came out and was sorely disappointed, like myself, this makes up for it. So if you're running Dragon Heist, you want to pick up this book. I like to think of it if you've ever played a game called Path of Exile, where you are hired on by a shadow organization to rob, do potentially ambiguously moral things for the greater good. That's what these missions are. You have 13 missions. From range, the character range is from 1 to 11.
So is this a campaign book or is this a series of one-shots?
It's
Series,
both.
one-shot.
Yeah,
So
they're all interconnected.
it's very similar to Adventure League, which I'll talk about in a moment. But you can plug in players at any mission based off of level. But there is follow-on Easter eggs, different hints, things that'll help you in information that you find on earlier missions that will help you in later missions. So it's definitely something I'm going to be using during our Adventure League play. Right now we're in Season 1, Tyranny of Dragons, but Waterdeep Dragon Heist is one of the Adventure League seasons. When that book came out, everybody was expecting, I'm going to be a rogue, and I'm going to be a sneaky warlock or a wizard, and we're going to rob this dragon. And that wasn't really what that book was about. But with this, you'll have it. So I'm also very excited. I got the green light to run some of these missions on Tuesday nights.
Whoa.
You gave me the green light the other day.
I never said that.
There he goes, guys. Here goes Rob.
He forgot.
King of the Cash Lights.
But see, that I did that on purpose. I snuck in when he was crunching numbers, so I knew he'd forget.
He threw it in there while he
Threw it in
was
there.
busy and preoccupied watching The Sopranos.
That was his hero.
Yeah, Tuesday nights. I'm gonna run these missions for roughly the next 15 weeks, starting in March. So Tuesday nights during RPG night, come on down. I'm gonna set up a table, and it'll be open play.
So what are the nights for Adventures League?
The official Adventure League night day is Saturday. I run games at noon and at 6 p.m. On Wednesdays, open night. I also run a game. It is Adventure League style. So, does that answer your question?
No.
And soon, Tuesday.
I thought we were running Adventures League on Wednesday nights too.
I run an Adventure League style game. That was to generate.
So that was like Tab versus Diet Coke. It's a diet drink, but not the same thing.
If the tab was free, yes.
That's a great answer.
But we like Rob said, we run Adventure Leagues on Saturdays at noon and 6 p.m. I'm pretty excited. I got a DM that he wants to play. I gave him some material. I'm expecting in early March he'll be ready to go. So we're growing. So if you're a DM and you wanna come get some players and run a table, come to the store. That's all I got.
And as long as I can steal from the government and not have to pay taxes while I play that, I'm happy with it. So
Yeah, they gave me the book is actually pretty cool.
You can. It is what folks were hoping Dragon Heist would be. If you were so disappointed like Dragon Heist, and you never really got to do that unless the DM made something up. Well, with this, you don't have to make up anything. They got some good stuff in here.
It's pretty cool. They've got like disguises, blackmailing, like rappelling down from the ceiling to grab the jewel off of the thing.
Classic.
Yeah. It's as creative as the players want to be. Might be a little harder for the murder hobos, but it is really good. If you're going to be a murder hobo, you need to figure out what you're going to do with the body because that's going to.
What's a murder hobo?
People who just like to kill anybody.
Yes.
Walks into the tavern and is like, that guy talked to me wrong. I want to pull out my claymore and kill him.
You pick the solution to every problem is kill an individual, even if it's a mother who's trying to get milk for her child. They murder.
It's not a fun way to play.
Yeah,
it's not a very fun way to play.
No, it
They
isn't.
spend a lot of time
Unless the
in
whole
jail.
party does it, and then actions have consequences, and now they got to run from the town guard. They derail your whole campaign, but D&D is a team sport. So if you got only one person messing up for everybody else, it's not a good experience.
When I DM sessions, I have a lot of people want to fight like the guards, and then I just level the guards up way past their level and just be like, they're guards for a reason. And then they just end up dying. And I'm just like, stop doing that. Like, it's like, I'm fighting this level 20 guard. Why is he so high level? Why did you pick a fight with him?
Yeah. But
It's like attacking the guards in Ultima 2.
or Skyrim.
It's especially
Aha!
Skyrim.
You got me. I'm back. Said drank my energy drink. I'm starting to wake up a little.
Speaking of Skyrim,
Is that Ultima with a U or A?
What?
Was that Ultima with a U or a?
Ultima. Ultima. Ultima 2. On the Apple II in like 1982. Yes,
He
you had
put out
left and right, and then like A and Z were up and down.
He put out, what was that game he put out? Wizardry?
Yeah, I showed him it. I Actually, I didn't.
I only played Zork.
Zork.
Oh, I showed you a video.
You showed me a
Zork
video
not
because you
back?
didn't have the
Because I asked him
Someone's
if he
gonna
knew. I asked
bring
Ian
Zork
if he
back.
knew, and I asked you too if you knew what
It's
Tilt Away
actually a
was.
really
Yeah.
good point.
I mean, that is an untapped resource. I think.
Zork. Remember Zork?
Why isn't that brought back? That was hot
The game?
stuff. Anything
No,
about
you
it.
can download. There's a
We're not boomers, fuckers.
No, we're not, and we're gonna flip this table
no.
if you
There
bring that up.
is a like a tablet app where you can play all those old Infocom games, including Zork, Deadline, Phobos, all of those, and they're freaking hard.
They are
Yeah.
really hard. They're harder than anything today.
Half the stuff we weren't even alive. Like the
Yeah,
first
no, you
Spyro.
weren't alive. Do you know what a ColecoVision is?
Hell
Dude,
no,
I had a
Spyro Raptors.
I did.
The worst controller in the world.
I know.
That was fire.
I didn't have one my buddy did.
That was fire.
I
I
had
did
a
the
Smurfs
Smurfs
game.
game for
What
it.
was the one
game was
that
terrible.
came out on
Yeah.
PS2 when he
I had a
was
Vectrex.
changing the elements and
You
stuff?
remember
Vectrex. You know, Vectrex
I
is
think
conditional.
I think it was.
I love that game.
Really?
I love
Marvel
that.
Ultimate
Look
Alliance?
it up, see if you got
Yeah.
it.
No, I don't have it.
I love that from
Capcom.
Vectrex.
Fire.
Yeah, Vectrex was fine.
Fire game.
It fell off. It
DC
fell off the
versus
back
Mortal
of
Kombat?
someone's
All the
truck.
X-Men
That
games?
was.
It's not associated with you.
That was like when they really did the whole like knock him
I
through.
was young. I was, you know.
through the
Is there any
environmental stuff.
D&D stuff
Yeah,
coming
I
out
love
that's
that
like
game.
actual gaming that's going to be tied to the
Soul
movie,
Calibur?
other than merchandise and stuff like that?
I haven't seen
I
anything
haven't
like
seen
that.
anything either.
However, you know, I intend to once the movie comes out, and I have an idea of, I can expect folks that want to play bards and kind of emulate what they see in the movie.
Yeah.
So I will pretty much homebrew that scenario.
Kind of stuff.
Ooh, we
That
have a
one shot.
promotion we're running with the Regal right up the road here for that movie.
Say what?
Really?
Yes.
Ooh, we
Talk
need
to
to.
Christine about that. Yeah, we're running we're doing
I didn't
a
make a note of
promotion
that.
out there with them. I think we're gonna have our own showing, like we did for Guardians of the Galaxy and for Star Wars.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Nice. Then
So you done?
I am done.
Okay, he's done. So let's move on to Walker.
As per usual, you know, it's like Warhammer, miniature gaming, all the fun stuff. I'm going to give us a recap about how the Heroic Skill Gamers GT went. This past week.
How'd you do, Walker?
I went 1-5, so I did not do too well. But after 3 years of not playing 40K, I say that's pretty good.
You didn't get the spoon.
No, I didn't.
I told you you weren't kidding. I knew somebody had to go 0-6.
Who'd you beat?
Jamie. In a buy round.
Oh, so your only win was on the bye.
Yeah,
That's
but we
crazy.
played. But I played against Jamie, so.
Okay.
But yeah. No, yeah, it was third round of that Saturday night, and then I sit there and I look at.
I'm sorry.
No, what?
Share the class.
Oh no, I'm excited about. I didn't know that we had
That movie
Guns
time.
Regal.
That's fantastic.
Now I'm gonna have to ramp up, step my game up for this campaign.
When I was like that third round Saturday night, I'm sitting there. I look at where I'm at, and I'm like, oh, I have a buy round. What the hell am I doing for the next hour? And then it was like Jamie was like, no, you're playing with me. Come on. And I'm like, okay.
You know what you could have done during that hour? Pre-orders and reorders.
You see, I took those 2 days off
No.
specifically, and you yell at me about overtime.
He said, and I quote,
You know what?
"There
You're not
better be a
overtime
fire."
because you didn't clock out of a shift and wound up being double clocked in for 2 days.
2 days, dang.
I text y'all about that.
The only honest one was Matt, who came and said, I think I got double paid for a day. And I looked it up and said, yes, you did.
I'm super rich and I don't need that much money.
That's true, Stan.
Oh, yeah, one time y'all sent me 2 checks, and I was like,
Can I borrow
this is,
20K?
this
Did you
is-
return one?
20K?
It automatically returned it.
If I got it on me.
I don't know if it was
You
like
take $1,000
if it was
bills.
something my bank did or if it was something that ADP did, but I had a cool 1K in my bank account one time going home, and I almost cried there for a second. It's worth it. God told me to keep fighting. It was worth it. And then it got returned, and I was just like, well, time to go back to Satan.
That's where you go home and withdraw it all.
I was on my
As far as
way
you
to
can
the
get.
bank, and then it
So,
said,
Walker, the floor is yours.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
that Charlie
I
interrupted
derailed you.
with
You're
his-
good.
My
his
apologies.
super
This happens all the
and-
time, actually. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
What was it? No, so for this, the Roxco Gamers GT went really well. I went 1 of 4. Carmine Batista took it all the way. But it was very fun, very interesting. You know, we sold a lot of beer. We actually had a pretty record-breaking weekend in the tavern.
We did.
And, you know, that's very
Actually,
exciting.
no, we didn't. We came close.
'Cause
We had a really good weekend in the tavern, but for like single day total,
single day
we
total.
were $100 off of opening day.
What was it? And then coming up this weekend, we have another GT happening in the store. It's going to be the Blood Bonnet Blood Bowl GT. And that'll be this Saturday, the 25th. That will be a one-day event. If you're not familiar with Blood Bowl, it's how I say it's probably how the British perceive how the Americans play football here. You know.
Works.
Yeah, orcs and beating the living crap out of each other.
So rugby.
Yeah. So that will be happening this weekend. The private gaming rooms will be available to rent out this weekend, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, this should just consume.
Saturday.
Right, but it's also
In the game, just
the
the
game
game room,
room,
not
like,
the private game
A
room.
good chunk of the tables.
So we're going to be using the
Back tables, yes.
We should still have a place for you to play though, if you want to come in and play some.
And then the first week in March, I remember me and you talking about it, but I think we will be at Clutch.
We are. We're a sponsor of Clutch. We're one of the prime sponsors for Clutch. We'll have a booth there, and we're providing prize support to them. So we will be there at the Clutch City GT.
Happening at the Knights of Camelot Game Center.
Really?
What?
Knights of Camelot Game Center.
I don't know what it's called.
Google that.
I don't know what it's
You're
called.
going to get a 1987 arcade. Knights of Columbus Hall.
Knights of Columbus Hall. Okay.
No offense to all you Knights of Camelot out
Yes.
there.
Knights of Camelot was King Arthur.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what
So yes, you
we...
get your
Being held
DeLorean
at
and do 88
Aladdin's
miles an hour
castle.
and travel back in time to the Knights of King Arthur time. You can play Blood Bowl, or excuse me, you can play 40K at the Clutch City GT. Next time, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tick mark every time you F with your hair. And we're going to keep a total and I'll graph it over time.
Let's say we should do
Graph it over time.
a drinking game whenever
Kills
Walker says. Yeah. So because this man said it like 20 times in his GW. It's like,
Well, y'all always just decide that my section is the best time to interrupt.
We should go full, what's the name of the public speaking group? I can't remember. But they have an counter. Every time, in Walker's case, his would be, yeah. They have an counter. Toastmasters.
Okay, we can do that. You can. Hey, editor, you can do that, right?
Moving.
Just add it in there.
You know, editor, you could actually take that, isolate that soundbite of him going, yeah, and just drop it anywhere you see it.
it would just be very
You could
quiet
like
in the
this.
background.
Hey, I haven't yelled this episode yet, alright?
No yelling allowed.
Right. No banging your hand on the table.
Oh, yeah.
That happens a lot.
I'm the loud one.
Get through your stuff.
I'm the loud one.
Also, coming up this weekend is the new GW pre-releases that we have, not pre-releases, pre-orders coming out, which is going to be the Combat Patrol for the Astra Militarum. Commissar, did you just fart, Rob?
Nope, I just sat on my hands.
And his hands for it.
Yeah, his hands farted. Man, that chair's really squeaky, huh?
Outrageous.
There will also be commissars. There's also going to be. I actually have to pull it up now. Great.
The rest of us were ready.
Tech priests.
Right, we were
Tech
all ready.
priests.
We had
Yeah,
our
I
stuff
keep on
with
being
us.
interrupted.
Commissars,
Fight
tech
me.
priests
Notes, that's crazy.
are going to be.
Right.
We're going to be getting Katie and Castellan. So he's going to be one of the new officers. We're also going to be having the Attilan Rough Riders, which will be the. This is what I deal with.
Is the 8th Katie?
She can eat too.
the Tillin Rough Riders.
No, you said the Katie, the Commissar.
We'll have a regular Commissar model come in. We're going to have the Cadian upgrade sprues. There will be a Cadian Castellan, which will be another high-ranking military officer that you can take as one of your HQs. You'll have the Tillin Rough Riders, which are basically horse riders with a giant pipe bomb on the end of a spear.
Sounds productive.
So, I mean,
Sounds like the Imperium.
and there's going to be an Aegis defense line, which will be drained for trenches, or so that you can use that for your game or for your display boards. And this past weekend, I saw a lot of good Astra Militarum display boards while I was playing. And then there's also going to be Captain Messinos, which is the Black Library's Dawn of Fire series character from there, and I think he's like a Black Library exclusive model. Yeah, Black Library exclusive model. The box has like a whole Captain of the White Consuls chapter. Ventarian Messinus is a veteran warrior of one of Guilliman's most trusted advisors. So he's his own special thing. You can run him on tabletop, and it is a very beautiful model. So, and then that's really all the pre-orders that we're going to be having this coming up weekend.
By the time this weekend is here, though, they're no longer pre-orders.
Yeah,
It's a release.
it's a release. And then,
You're going to be able to edit in pictures of what he's talking about?
yes, I always send them to him.
You don't always send them to me. You didn't send them to me last week.
Are you gonna edit that out?
They'll be in there, along with the manga books, those stuff.
Oh, also, the last weekend of March, we are going to be hosting a narrative event for Warhammer 40k. It's going to be the Draconis System Narrative Crusade. That'll be happening the whole last weekend of March. So March 24th, which is Friday, all the way to that Sunday, which is going to be March 26th. There is a 20-person sign-up limit.
Get signed up now, because this is going to sell out quick.
This is going to sell out quick. There will be a Facebook post coming up tonight about it, and the link will be in the description and everything else for that event. It's going to be a very fun event.
You know what also is going to be a pretty fun and exciting event happening in March a lot of people are very excited for?
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, but you know what happens on St. Patrick's Day that we're doing here at the
I've
I
got
don't know,
some
man.
idea.
We're doing some karaoke nights.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
Green
the Blue Ranger.
Oh,
yeah, that's
that
happening too. But it's
March
karaoke
is
night. On the
March
We have
sixth
the
is
Blue
of
hot.
Ranger
March.
coming on St. Patrick's Day and karaoke night on that same day.
Oh, God, the place is going to burn to the ground.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be so fun. We might get them to do some karaoke too.
So here's the thing, though,
Oh.
is that with the karaoke, when they brought it up, and by they, I mean, hey, man, and Kelly,
Hey, man.
the first thing, that's almost getting Kermit the Frog-ish, isn't it?
Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog.
That's really good Kermit.
Yeah.
So, when they first brought up the idea of karaoke, I kind of squashed it because I thought, no, I don't want something loud going on in the tavern and that everyone can hear. But, I don't know, Trivia Night gets pretty loud. Freaking Commander Night gets pretty loud from the other end of the store.
It's pretty loud.
Wednesday
this
night gets
weekend
pretty
with
loud.
the,
Yeah, so the store tends to be a rather, loud place with a lot of cool stuff going on. So I gave them the go ahead, and we're going to do it. We're going to do karaoke. We're going to be doing Disney-themed karaoke. So we're not launching right into,
just anything
greatest
goes.
hits of 50 Cent or something like that.
But it will happen soon.
No.
Go shorty.
REO Speedway.
We gon' party like it's your birthday.
REO Speedway.
We'll do that one on Rob's birthday.
No.
And we don't give up because it's your birthday.
So we're giving it a try. So if you want us to keep doing this, if you want to support us doing karaoke in the tavern, come on out and join us. It was kind of scary because as they broke out the karaoke amp we had people walk in and say, "Hey, when are you doing karaoke?" Because they knew what it was. So we're going to give it a shot.
We had a couple people even join us for some karaoke songs too.
Right.
We're gonna get Rob and Christine out and do some karaoke too.
Nope. The only way I can really sing
We're
is
gonna put some
if
drinks
it's even that doesn't happen. You were with me that night and I didn't. So and I had a few drinks, so that's not gonna happen.
We're also towards the end of the night there. We had a full night, a full karaoke. I'm pretty sure I could have convinced you.
I had been there for several hours while karaoke was going on with
I
our
wasn't there.
friends
I-
doing karaoke, and I still did not do it.
I think I could convince Rob to do at least one song.
Okay.
Bring a flask of Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
Loosen him up a little
So
bit.
this was at the dive bar over in Cyprus. We went to Cyprus Lounge. It was a dive bar. It was cool
Yeah.
though. It was cool. They had a karaoke night.
Lots of compliments that night.
You did?
Yeah.
From what?
From when I did my karaoke song.
Compliments from who?
There's a bunch of random people. They come up to me and say, "You killed it, man." It was like this group of ladies off to the side the whole time.
See, I was there, and that didn't happen.
You weren't watching while I was singing. There's this group of ladies. They were basically
It was like-
fangirling over me. I was pointing on to them
I've
and
heard
everything.
this story now from several times. The after action report the next day from when they go out like on a Wednesday night or something and go over to their bar and do karaoke is, man, all these women were just all over me last night. Now that I've been there and seen that did not happen, I'm now questioning the validity of all the previous stories.
I'm telling you, it happened.
Okay.
Have you been to Bedrock yet?
No, he has not, because he was supposed to come Friday, but they didn't do that.
Well, that's because y'all were going to go over there like at 1 in the morning or midnight or whatever it was. We had to be up in there early the next day.
That is a fun place. I've even been there 2 times now.
Yes, I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, I know
With
my
the
way
pool
around the
cue.
pool cue.
Stevenson family knows how to run a good bar. That's all I gotta say.
All right, is that it?
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, make sure you if you want to subscribe to some of these books, give us a call or come in and you can add it. Remember, we have that list of new number ones at the front desk every time you come in. You can check out your subscriptions online. We have a little card that we will give you at the front desk, which will show you how to log into your Managed Comics account. Remember to check out our Facebook page for all of our great events coming up, including karaoke, including Blood Bowl, including Adventures League, including Board Game Night. So hopefully next week maybe we'll have some more guests. You know, we'll have probably a moment of silence for Brad. You know, I think Kelly's been up here before, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Maybe we can get Chrissy to come up here and talk
Get the
about
whole
events.
crew up here.
God,
That's a great
that'd
idea
be,
because
uh,
March
we need-
is.
No, we need more
hot.
microphones.
We got a
that
great
would
March
be
coming up.
a
March is gonna be
show.
cool.
We definitely need more microphones by that point. Cause,
Yeah, you keep reaching out and moving
because
that one.
you have to be
It's
heard.
a surround mic.
Why don't we get some?
Well,
They're in the
you
cart.
got the Amazon list.
Hey, I also just paid income tax.
Well, you asked the question, man. I didn't ask the
Yeah,
question.
you did ask
just
the
say, well,
question.
why don't we get more?
So
I know we have more microphones.
Send me with a P card. I'll go to Guitar Center.
Mr. Microphone.
what?
Hey, good
With the
looking. I'll be
P-card.
back to see
We don't
you
do
later.
P-cards. All right, so thank you for joining us, and we will see you again next week.
Oh,
Good
all right,
night.
guys. Remember,
Good
like,
night.
subscribe,
Good day.
hit that button. This
We ought to
show-
say that at the beginning of the
Well,
thing.
no, you don't have to. Well, this show is literally.
That's kind of a corny